So it is 420. Happy 420 to you guys out there. It's a big day for Elon Musk. I think there's a SpaceX launch today as well as on 420. And you guys probably have heard the news on Twitter. They're removing legacy verified check marks to remain on Twitter. Individuals can sign up at Twitter Blue. It's a huge push for Elon, basically trying to get all these major celebrities and writers and government people to pay him $15 or $8, excuse me, pay a month. I actually am on Twitter Blue. So it's going to be quite the day. We're going to see if there's any turmoil out there. You've already seen recently NPR and a few other news organizations saying they're going to jump off the platform because Elon put like government funded or up to 75% government funded to sort of have that transparency so people know where they could potentially be biased with their opinion, even though they're claiming independence and they probably have a lot of that really going on. There's probably some sort of connection as you're getting most of their funding or partial funding from the government. And I think this just goes back to the backlash of everything you've seen on Twitter with, the Twitter files, where the government's basically working with Twitter to ban people, to move messaging. And I think at the end of the day, what people want and have lost is a lot of trust of these major organizations. They're owned by billionaires, or they're owned by the government, and they felt agenda-based and they felt biased on each side. And I think what at least Elon's attempting to do is to have that transparency, to force their hand a little bit. And interesting that NPR, BBC, I think, is another one that just basically said they're not going to post there and go to these other places. I totally get that. It's sort of their power move against Elon. But I do think there's some aspects of like us knowing that and having more transparency. I think we all love to say the good old days of the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, when we were sort of blind to the fact of this propaganda. But I think it's good to know, and we can make a decision for the media that we consume and the people that we think we can trust. So it's a difficult day, and I think we're sort of going through this transition to like all these major conglomerates. How do we get more authentic and transparency, which is what we all really want, and where can we find that source of truth? I think what Elon's trying to do is say we're going to be that source of truth with these moves. In addition to this Twitter Blue move, as I'm a Twitter Blue user, I've said I have had a great experience. I think the For You page on my Twitter Blue has been a little bit like heavy on the type of content I like. I'm almost seeing too much of it because I like to sort of catch other niches and news in there. So I've been trying to figure out the balance between For You and following. The one thing I would add to this, though, is I think this is a good move for brands to pay $8. And while it helps support Twitter, I do think you're seeing Facebook thinks it's a good move already, right? They're doing the Twitter, they're doing the verification check marks. I think that they should have done this in the beginning, and they should have charged for it and gave benefits to the brand. I've been saying this since day one. I like that aspect that Twitter's doing this now. It's going to be interesting. I don't know why you wouldn't if you can afford $8 and you're a major corporation or a brand. This is the hardest thing to do, is to get yourself verified on most of these channels. So I would go right into it, lean into it. It's just a new day. You're going to get much added benefit. If you're a normal person, and you're not interested in this, you're just there passively to consume, no need to pay $8. This is for the power user. I've been saying it for a while. This is for the business, the brand, the people that need the tool to grow. You should be paying $8. You get too much added benefits, especially in Twitter, where they're saying you get, up in the comments, you get more sort of access to the For You page and yada yada. To me, this is a no-brainer. $8, what are you doing? Pay that thing.